Salute everyone. This is Lawrence D. Adams. If you can see me, because I'm looking on my other thing and I don't see myself. If you can see me, let me know in the chat room. Shout out to Unique being out here. You were in our prayers. We was praying for you. We got nothing but love for you. If you can see me on your screen, let me know because I'm looking on my. There it is. It is showing up. Okay, cool. Salute, salute. You can see, yeah, good. What's going on? Happy New Year to everyone. Lawrence D. Adams is here. You see, I'm pulling up everything right now. I'm able to do it like like I want to do it. And I can read what's going on. Cerise, what's going on? Unique, what's going on? Tara, what's going on? Joe Blast, what's going on? John the W, what's going on? Let's get it going. It is Monday, and we're talking this week about what? What are we talking about this week? Toxic relationship. Letting go of toxic relationships. Letting go of toxic relationships. Yeah, you see me. Good. Good to see everyone. Good. That's what I'm talking about. You can see me. Because I'm right now, I'm doing double time now. Sigma, what's going on? Salute to everybody. Happy New Year's to you. Let's get it. Let me change my shot right quick. And froze up. There we go. What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Let's get it. Lawrence D. Adams, and we are here today. Just trying to pick up on the lion. Don't pick up on the lion. Good to see everyone. I see you in the chat room. I see you. I love it now. I love this technology. Putting everything together. Putting everything in the good together. So today we're talking about toxic relationships. Y'all asked for it. It's the beginning of the year, so we're going to talk about letting go of toxic relationships. Letting go of toxic relationships. This is going to be good. Now, I'm going to tell you right now. We're going to take this one a little slow and then go right into it, because we don't want to just into this new year talking about toxic relationship unless we have some clear-cut definitions of what toxic. What's going on? Birdie M? So let me cut the music back off. I'm still learning. I'm changing things up and know how I'm doing everything. Stop it right there. Let's go. Let's get to it. Am I at the right place? There we go. What's going on, everyone? So today we're talking about, let me turn this off because it's going to try to pick up. So today we're talking about toxic relationships, and toxic relationships is, man, you toxic. Let's first define what toxic is, because most people have their own preconceived ideas what they think toxic is without having a clear cut what toxic is. Toxic is symptoms of infection or toxicities, radioactive gas, waste. It is something, substance or compounds, fumes from chemicals, and highly toxic. Tests can be determined to be toxic landfill. It can be something of waste, containing or being a poisonous material, especially when capable of causing death or serious causing death. So I think what we need to look at is this. What is toxic? Let me start moving to the shot. What is toxic relation? What is a toxic relationship? So toxic is something, let's define toxic first. Toxic is what? Containing poisonous substance. Relationship is your ability to relate to someone else. Let me say that again. Your ability to relate to someone else. So you can be in a toxic relationship where it is poisonous to you and to that individual. But first, if you know my teachings, you know where I'm going to go is it always starts within you first. It always starts within you first. What do I mean? It always starts within you first. It starts within you first by this fact. When you think about it, what in me drew this toxic relationship? That's the first thing. But also, I want to go a little bit step further. When we talk about toxic relationship, we're not just talking about just male-female relationship or male to male or female to female. Toxic relationship can encompass what? Your work relationships. It can be with your parents. It can be with kids. It can be with anyone. Toxic relationship is not just predicated to just what? A male and female relationship. It can be, you can be toxic with your kids. They can be toxic with you. Toxic relationship encompass a whole scope of things. But what we want to do is tread sort of lightly right now and glide into it, because we have several days to talk about what is a toxic relationship and letting go. The first thing you must realize before you even step into this is this. That's good right there. The first thing you must realize is that toxic relationships always starts somewhere in you. That means you have to recognize and accept, why am I in a toxic relationship? Because if you listen to the teachings that I teach, you realize that there's no one else out there but you. It's important to examine the self and be sure the dude in the mirror ain't toxic. Very true. So toxic relationship starts, you have to think about it. Why am I in a toxic relationship that is poisonous and can cause death? Let me say that again. That and can cause death. Why am I in this relationship? And as you all guys already said, you could be in the toxic relationship with your own self. You could be in a toxic relationship with you and don't even know it. So the first thing we have to do is examine, as Joe Blas said, is to examine who? Myself. Why am I poisonous to my own well-being? Why am I poisonous to my own well-being? I don't know why my lights are causing me to look. Let me turn my light up. And that's why I'm going to get the light that I need to get, because this is not, I don't like the way that looks. Let me brighten it up a little bit. Take that off. There we go. Why am I toxic to myself? Where in me am I being toxic? And you could be in a toxic relationship with who you are as an individual. Let me say that again. You first got to realize that you could be in a toxic relationship with yourself. Most people don't talk about that. They always want to talk about, everyone want to use toxic, toxic is now like a catchphrase. Ooh, that's a toxic relationship. That's a toxic relationship. Ooh, that's toxic. But could it be first, if you examine a little bit further, that you are what? In a toxic relationship with who you are as an individual? Could it be that you need to really think, am I in a toxic relationship with who I am? Because when you are in a toxic relationship with yourself, you're causing yourself to be poisonous. So how do you get in a toxic relationship with yourself? You don't believe in who you are. You're always doing stuff that's crazy. You're doing things that is for your demise. That's toxic. When you are going and participating in things that are what? Toxic to you. So the first person you need to look at when it comes to a toxic relationship is your relationship with yourself. But the other side of it is this. There's layers of toxicity. So a lot of people don't talk about this, but we're going to talk about it a little bit further. It's this: the layers of toxicity that could be there. You could be toxic to your spirit. You could be toxic to your mind. You could be toxic to your body. Let me say that again. You could be toxic to your mind. You could be toxic to your spirit, and you could be toxic to your soul, the very essence, to your emotions. So once you realize that I could be potentially toxic to myself on multiple levels, you could be toxic to who you are. You can be toxic on multiple levels. And once you realize, like, wait a minute, the real issue first is with me. Where am I in 2022? Have I been toxic to myself? See, everybody, I don't care who it is, when it comes to this, and I've seen people write long litanies of stories, and I'm in a toxic relationship, they narcissists, and there's them, it's them, but they never talk about the toxicity that is inside of them that's festering, the poison that's inside of them. So that poison could be you're carrying things from the past into your future or to your present. You could be toxic because you're expecting your relationship with your past person to be like your current person. Toxic. You could be expecting that person to live up to expectations that they can never live up to, because that can become toxic. So you could be expecting somebody to love you like someone else loved you, and that can become toxic. So the first relationship that you need to deal with is your relationship with yourself. Am I being toxic to myself on some level? And you need to be honest with yourself, because being honest with yourself is the first step. You have to be completely honest in this new year. Am I being toxic to myself on some level? Am I being toxic to myself on some level? Could it be that I am the one that is toxic and that I need to go quarantine? That I need to go sit my hind parts down and really look at my life. I could have a toxic relationship with me. So you need to let go of your toxic relationship that you have with yourself on your spiritual side, on your mental side, on your soul side, before you even talking about you're in a toxic relationship with anyone else. Many times people don't want to take responsibility. Everybody wants to put the responsibility on someone else. Well, it's them, it's my mama, it's my daddy, it's my husband, it's my wife. But could it be, as I'm pointing the finger at you, could it be that you are the one that's really toxic and you starting with yourself? If this is resonating with you, let me know in the chat room, because now I can see in the chat room. Let me know if this is resonating with you. Could it be that you're in a toxic relationship with your own self? And I really want you to think about this. This is not to put you down or get you to get out of space, but it's really to get you to think. Could it be that you're in a toxic relationship with yourself? Detox, resonating. Most people don't know the self. That's why it's always everybody else. Thank you. Yes, resonate. So it's easy to say it's them. Them people crazy. They always doing something. But you notice, as we always say last year and this new year, you're always there when the toxic things are going on. Are you toxic in your spiritual self? Let's talk about that. Could it be that you're taking on some toxic things that are spiritually crippling you, that is poisoning you? This is messing up your game, because you're thinking on the spiritual level, because this is when spirituality and the game combines. Could it be that you are toxic on your spiritual level? Have you taken on religiosity and not spirituality, which is connected to who? The I am, the Father. Could it be that you're taking on things on the spiritual level that has been crippling you, poisoning you, and bringing you to a slow death where you can't hear your what? The Father's voice inside of you. Or we can say it another way. You cannot hear your intuition. You cannot hear when the guide says, go left, you going the other way. Could it be that you're toxic on your spiritual level? So when people come around you, they can feel your spirit and they say, it's something about you I don't want to deal with. I don't know what it is. Could it be in 2022, you need, like Jonathan W. put in, you need to detox with yourself. You need to sit your hind parts down and say, could it be on the spiritual level I need to detox? Just go to the next level, which is your soul or your mind, your emotions. Some of you guys are emotionally toxic. Let me say that again. You are emotionally toxic. You are emotionally toxic. What does that mean? Your emotions are, I don't care, male or female, because male and female have emotions. Men process their thinking first, their logic first, and then their emotions. Women process together with their logic and their emotions at the same time. But could it be that you are toxic on your emotional level? You are toxic. Every time we come around you, you always down. This ain't gonna work. This look funny. There's something wrong with them. You are toxic on an emotional level. You're toxic what? On an emotional level. Could it be that you are toxic on the emotional? And I'm talking to you men. I'm talking to you women. Could it be that you are toxic? There's some toxicity in your emotions, and it causes your perception of the world to become toxic. See, it's easy to talk about everybody else. We're going to talk about everybody else coming in the process of this week. But could it be you're toxic on the spiritual level? Now you're toxic on the emotional level. Everything you sit down and, I don't like this. This don't feel right. This food ain't right. You just ain't think this ain't right. Could it be that you're toxic, brother, sister, that you're toxic on the spiritual level? You might very well be toxic on an emotional level. That's why you cannot connect with your mate or a potential person, because you're toxic. You're poisonous on an emotional level. There are men I know that are poisonous on the emotional level. There are women I know who are poisonous on the emotional level. When you try to get with them, connect with them emotionally, they're so poisonous. Have you ever talked to somebody and you talk to them and you feel worse after talking to them? You're like, man, what's up with this person? They're emotional vampires. They're toxic on some level, and they're toxic on the emotional level. Could it be the reason why you don't have the things that you have because your emotions are toxic and they need to be detoxed? Let me drink some of this. Could it be that you are toxic could it be? You're not wrong, LDA. I definitely need to remove myself from external distraction, and I can focus on cultivating a place of peace that is mobile, not stationary, and not dependent on place or action. Thank you. This is a word today. And could it be now, the next level that you are toxic on is on a mental level? You know, we about this mental gang right here. Could it be that you mentally are toxic? We talked about the spirit side. We talked about your emotional side. But could it be that you are mentally toxic? Your perception of the world is toxic. You always think that every man is out to get you. You thinking that every woman is out to get you. Are you mentally toxic? Could it be that's the reason why your game is not working? Could it be that's the reason why your marriage is not working? Could it be that's the reason why you're not connecting with the people you need to connect with, because you are toxic? You need to let that go. Are you mentally toxic? Are you mentally toxic? This is something you need to really think about. You're going into this 2022. Are you mentally in a place where you are at peace and tranquility, and where you are mentally not toxic? You looking at everything. Shoot, this ain't gonna work out. I don't know why. I just don't feel like it's gonna work out. I don't think this is right. Every woman is out to get me. You know, they want my check. So, Tuka, I see you. So are you mentally in a place where you are toxic or poisonous in your thinking? What I mean poisonous in your thinking? You're poisonous in what's going on. What's going on? SS2, what's going on? So could it be that you're toxic in your thinking, how you see things? If someone says it's beautiful outside, it's going to rain in about 2 minutes. You're poisonous. You're in a group setting you're in a group setting and you always a Debbie Downer. Toxic, poisonous. We about to go to the club, man. We about to go to the club. We about to do our thing. I ain't gonna get no numbers. Toxic thinking. We about to do this business deal. It ain't gonna work out. You're in a place where your thinking has become toxic. And the first person that you need to detox in this time of letting go and dealing with toxic relationship is the relationship that you have with yourself. We think less of ourselves than we really should. We already talked about narcissists and we talked about ego last week or the week before when we talked about it. Now it's thinking correctly about yourself. So you need to look at the toxic thoughts that are constantly playing out in your mind. Right. Do you see the glass half full or empty? So what is your toxic thinking that you have? And I really want to drive into this. I really want to grab into this. Could it be your toxic thinking of yourself is stopping you from, and I need to say this to someone, is it stopping you from connecting with the people that you need to connect with, but your thinking is toxic, it's poisonous. And people that are healthy don't want to be people with healthy thinking and good self-esteem don't want to be around someone who is poisonous because you become contagious. You need to quarantine your thinking. You need to quarantine your emotions. You need to quarantine your spirit and really look at what toxicities that are inside of me that I have a bad relationship with myself. And if you're having a bad relationship with yourself, you have to look at one thing. What do I feel I do not deserve? 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 Could it be, brother? Could it be, sister, that you are in a toxic relationship with yourself? Could it be that you're in a toxic relationship with you? Shout out. Thank you, Tuka, for that cash app. Thank you. I appreciate that. Could it be that you're in a toxic relationship with who you are? Oh my God. I met someone this weekend who automatically looked at the glass, a relationship half full, literally scared me off. Right, because they're only seeing. Let me say this. Let me break it down because I know I can go. I'm already in the cloud somewhere. So let me come back to let me break it down a little bit further. A lot of times when people have a toxic relationship with themselves, they normally try to poison you with their toxic thinking, with their toxic spirit, and with their toxic emotions. And so what happens is if they can cough on you with their toxicity or with their poison, they want to in turn infect you with that kind of poison. So if I begin to affect you, it breaks down your immune system, your ability to fight the poisons that are in your body or in your emotions or in your mind. And so now you become you can come close to death. Death does not always mean that you die literally. You can be dead spiritually. You can be dead in your emotions. You can be dead in your mind. Why? Because you have taken on a toxic thought or someone else's toxic beliefs, someone else's toxic emotions, someone else toxic mindset, and now it's causing you to slowly break down. If I'm talking to you, let me know. If this is right down your alley, let me know in the chat room. You say, yo, LDA, you hitting it hard. You got the gloves off today. You got the gloves off today. Let me know I got the gloves off today. The Walking Dead ain't a show. You got that right. So a lot of times people are walking around with tons of toxicity inside of their relationship with themselves. The relationship with who they are. So what happens is if someone infects you with a toxic thought or toxicity in your emotions, say with regards to a man and a woman, guess what happens is all your perception now from this point on is that there ain't no good women. There ain't no good man. There ain't nobody who's gonna love me. I need to just do this. So you have to be careful and really examine, is this the truth or is this their opinion or is it toxic? See, a lot of people, everybody want me to get to the point where explaining the toxic relationship with other people. No, we're talking about the toxic relationship with you. With you. 2022. I can't stand those people any longer. If I knew them from years, those people are toxic. Yeah, everybody want to talk about the other people, but they never want to talk about you. We know from you heard this teaching many times on my channel. So you know what I'm going to say. When you have a toxic relationship with yourself, you're going to project that toxic relationship and draw people who are toxic to you. They are just mirrors back to you of who you are. Let me say it a little bit slower. I'm going to say it again. When you have a toxic relationship or toxicity in you on some level, you're going to attract or project from within out toxic people around you who confirms your toxicity that's inside of you. Only affected people attract other affected people. Let me say that again. Only people who are infected with toxicity begins to attract people who are toxic. When you are not toxic on those three levels that I said, what happens is those who may be toxic becomes healed or whole because they can't find nothing in you because you don't match them. Either they stay and get well or they leave and they have to go. Let me say that again. When you embody in toxicity on some level with the relationship with you, you're going to automatically, I don't care whether you like it or not, it's just truth to principle. You're going to attract someone who's going to be toxic to you because they're going to reflect the toxicity that's in you. So you can't say, well, you the problem. They beating up on my head. Oops. And that's why, listen, Linda. That's the reason why you get mad at the person who is toxic because they remind you of you. And so what you do is you go into a place of denial, like, no, that ain't me. No, that ain't me. I ain't like that. But in reality, everywhere you go, they go. My buddy. Everywhere I go, they go, my buddy. Because you are who they are, and the toxicity ties you together. The toxicity, your common bond is your toxicity with that individual. That's the common bond. That's the common bond. Your toxicity with that person is your common bond. And guess what happens? You can't leave, they can't leave because y'all smoking the same toxicity. You may not like it, but it's just the truth. So what you have to do is you need to quarantine yourself. We know this word because we're in this, you know what, at this, you know what time. You need to quarantine yourself and say, where am I being do I have? See, the first thing we're going to do is, I don't care who it is, your mom, your sister, brother, cousin, brother. I ain't got no toxicity. I ain't toxic, man. Forget that. It's all them. That's the first thing we do. We go into a place of denial. Oh, baby, you got some toxic ways. You got some toxic thinkings. Your emotions are toxic. Face the fact. We all deal with it. I took this weekend to do some cleansing myself. Even last night, I didn't really sleep last night. I took some time and said, let me adjust this. I'm not perceiving this person right. I'm not perceiving this situation right. There's some toxic thinking I have, some toxic emotions that are tied up inside of me that I need to let go. So I had to go inside and do some, I call it moving furniture. And some furniture has to go. Some people can't sit on that furniture anymore because you know why? It don't fit into my world anymore. So if you keep running around people or you keep running to people that are toxic, 9 times out of 10, you are that toxic person. If you're getting somebody who's oops upside your head, somewhere you oops upside your head to yourself. And this is the other side of it. I'm about to go there. The reality of it is the reason why you cannot let go of the toxic relationship with other people because you have now, y'all ready for this? Let me know in the chat room while I sip this. Y'all ready for this? Let me know in the chat room. Let me say this. And y'all may not like it. Let me know. I need 3 people to say, yo, I want to hear this. Let me know in the chat room. I know it's a delay, but y'all let me know in the chat room. Y'all ready for this? And y'all, this is going to be serious right here. This is going to be serious right here. I need one more person. I only see 2 people who put it. Somebody say they're ready to hear what I'm about to say next. There we go. There we go. Okay, good. There we go. Yo. What's up? Toxicity has been normalized. Toxicity may be the norm for these people. Correct. What's going on the Renaissance? What's going on? Let me say something. And y'all need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Some people or you, we need to talk about the other people right now. Today is not about the other people. It's about you. You may be comfortable and enjoy your toxicity in you because you have grown an immunity to it. So anytime it shows up when it's outside of you, it don't really bother you because you're comfortable with the toxic part of your thinking, of your emotions, or your spirit, or your relationships, because you have grown comfortable in your toxicity. You're grown. No, it's okay. It's okay. I have a bottle of poison right here, but it's okay. You know what? I only take once a day and it don't really affect me too much. I'm still able to function in this world. You know, it's okay. You know, I have a bad relationship, then I have a good relationship, but it's okay. You know, it's always them. So you become comfortable with your toxicity. And anytime it tries to uproot itself out of you or try to expel itself out of you, you say, no, come back. You now have a relationship with your toxicity that's in you. You now have a relationship Now we're talking about the relationship with you now, but let's go a little deeper. Now you have an intimate relationship with the toxic parts of you, and you are now intimate with it, and you don't want to let it go because even though it's killing you, it feels so good because people now sort of validate that you're toxic, or people say, you know what, I'm just like that. So you now have an intimate relationship with the toxic part of you that's really killing you slowly. Y'all quiet now in the chat room. Hints. The suit of Spider-Man give him amazing strength and ability to enhance the toxicity to where his mind is going and feeling, right? Is copying, right? Could it be the most messed up thing about toxicity is the warped sense of value having? Correct. You guys are getting it. So could it be that you have grown comfortable in your ability to function as a human being, male or female, or whatever you want to call yourself? You are grown comfortable in your toxicity. It's okay. So you justify it. Well, my mom was like this. You know, my dad used to do that. You know, my sister used to do that. No, and nobody really got over this toxicity. You justify it. You rationalize your toxicity because you've grown comfortable with it, and now you have an intimate relationship with it, and it's you and toxicity dancing together. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Every day you wake up, it's like, you ready, baby? Yeah, I'm ready. Because you can grow comfortable in being toxic. You're talking about everybody else. And so what happens is when you go up and your lover called toxicity shows up and y'all dance, y'all get a little intimate, and it shows up with other people, it don't really bother you. Like, yeah, they toxic, but it's okay because I'm in a toxic relationship with myself and I love it. I'm in a toxic relationship with myself and I enjoy it. It feels good. It validates me. It makes me feel like something. And slowly the poison it's a slow death. And you move coping into doping. The time to cut off the cold turkey. You have time to cut it off cold turkey. Have you grown a comfortability with your toxicity? I've noticed whatever area you're healing in, God will allow you to meet people who have the same toxicity in the area you once had, to allow you to see what was once in you and what to reject. Very true. I learned I had to unlearn these behaviors and grow up, and I grew up around. Yes. Could it be that you've been birthed in toxicity when it comes to relationships with yourself first and then with others? So while you look at, say, your parents or people, grandparents or whoever it is that argue, you think it's normal that a man and a woman is supposed to argue to solve issues. Toxic. So when you get into a relationship or get married, you argue. Oh, shoot, what you talking about? I ain't telling you what to do. You ain't telling me what to do. You start arguing because you grew up. You've been groomed to be toxic because your parents were toxic. Your aunt might have been toxic. Your uncle might have been toxic. And you wondering why, shoot, this is the normal thing. I might as well be, hey, what? Shoot, everybody had 5 marriages I'm just using this as an example. Everybody had 5 marriages in my family. It is what it is. Toxic. Nobody stays married in your house, in your family. Toxic. Toxic. The women don't know how to cooperate with the men. Toxic. The men don't know how to lead. Toxic. Or the man is trying to lead and try to make the woman submit, but he has nowhere he's going. Toxic. And you've seen this and you like, you a baby, you don't know. You just going along with the toxicity. Toxic. You may have been groomed, fed slowly in your IV, toxic behavior, thinking, emotions that are not healthy to you and those around you. You might have got an IV when you were little and didn't even know it, that the toxic behavior around you was designed to slowly poison you. Give an example, LDA? Sure, give an example. Give an example. Sure, here's an example. You seen your mother run the household or not know, or run the house or run your father. So when you get in a relationship with a man, you all you know is running your mother running your father. So when you get in a relationship, what you do, you run your man and you run your man away. Toxic. Man, you think in order to solve a problem that you need to start hitting on women. Toxic. You haven't learned how to resolve things, so you resolve things in a toxic way because of what you've seen, what you've been around. I'm at 115, doing good. Could it be that your ability to be toxic, you have been using as a coping mechanism, and it's time to deal with your relationship with yourself? I ain't talking about a toxic relationship with God. I ain't talking about relationship with church. I ain't talking about your mother, your sister, your brother. We were talking about that all this week. We got time to talk about all them people. We're talking about with you. What did BBD say? I thought it was me. No, it is you. It's you. You are the problem. But have you grown comfortable in have you grown comfortable in your toxicity? Be real talk. This is real talk. You know, it's just me and you. People in the chat room, thinking class. Do you need to detox? Do you need to quarantine your emotions, your mind, and your behind? Because you are fourth level or third level degree of toxic. See, let me give you a secret. Once you get out of being toxic on those levels, you, as Tara said, you begin to spot people immediately who are toxic. My boy just put the cheeks on Cheek and Chung, and he's back on the deal. Leave the toxic, right? Let me say that again. Once you begin to quarantine, once you quarantine and you detox from your toxicities, you begin to spot other people who have the toxicities that you may have had, and you be like, nope, nope, I'm not going to deal with that. What's going on, beautiful animated? Good to see you in here. So you automatically begin to spot people who have what? The toxicities, that the poisons that you had in you, you begin to say, nah, I ain't dealing with that. No. But you know, I love you, baby. Your hair is like silk and your body's like a Coke bottle. Can I touch your mind? Nah, I'm good. Or she may say, you know, I can do all these wonderful things for you. I can cook, clean, and do. But you know, secretly, you feel the toxicity from her. You need to exit stage left immediately. You begin, when you detox from your toxicity, you begin to recognize people who have the same poisons that was once in you, like Tara said, in them. And what happens is, you sidestep a lot of stuff. See, this is the other thing too. I know we're not talking about other people, Once you begin to detox and to actually quarantine yourself, you do not, let me go into my Minister Farrakhan. You do not, brothers or sisters, begin to debate or argue with someone who is toxic on some level. You don't do it. The poison has messed up their mind. Let me say that again. The poison has messed up their mind. So what you do is you don't even deal with you put your PPE on. What is PPE? Somebody tell them what PPE is. Somebody somebody know what PPE is. What's PPE? Somebody know what it is. Somebody already know what I'm talking about. PPE. If you any kind of work for, you should know what PPE is. I've dealt with them. I don't deal with them either. Not worth my time and energy. Correct. You need to put your PPE on. Protective what? Somebody tell me what PPE is. We're in this quarantine pandemic. They say make sure you have your PPE on. Personal protective equipment. Bingo. That's it. PPE on. So when someone that's toxic around you and you already detox, you need to put your PPE in. Personal protective equipment. Your pertinent. Oh, hey, how you doing? I got my shield on. Oh, keep talking. Yes, you're wonderful. Great. And your personal protective equipment. When you just sense that they may have what you used to have, or they're a little toxic, put your PPE on. Y'all know what it is. Protect that bottom, right? And if you don't do it, it will be your own fault. If you don't do it, it will be your own fault. Why you are dealing now. You didn't came out of toxicity because you dealt with your own situations. But now what you're doing, you're dealing with what? You dealing with what? You dealing with their mess. It's funny sometimes. I know my thing screen keep going back and forth. It's funny how sometimes you can come out of your toxicity and then there it is. Somebody come in, they got all kind of crap all around them. Put on your PPE, protect personal, what is it? I know it. I should know it because of the industry I work in. Personal protective equipment. And not going to feel bad about it. Yep. You need to protect your mind, your soul, your spirit, whatever else, your body, from people's toxicities that you have now detoxed from. We're going to talk about later on this week about other people, toxic relationships, but we need to talk about the toxic relationship. I don't know what happened. We need to talk about the toxic relationship. We need to talk about first the toxic relationship that you have with yourself. You need to talk about the toxic relationship that you have with yourself. If you do not deal with that first, anything we say the following this week is not going to mean nothing. It's going to be, oh man, okay. You're going to always blame the other person. Let me say that again. You're going to always blame the other person. I have a short temper, so I don't. so I have to learn early not to deal with toxic people. Stay in your lane. Correct. So let me say this again. We ain't gonna talk about the other people this today. You. Where do you need to quarantine, detox, get the toxicity, poison? That's what toxic is. Because everybody want to use toxic relationship. All right, this is a toxic relationship. And they don't realize why they talking about everybody in a toxic relationship. I'm in a toxic relationship with my husband. I'm in a toxic relationship with my wife. And who was there? You were there. You're the only person that was there that you identified that you were in a toxic relationship. Bingo. So stop whining and complaining about it and realize it was you. If this today in 2022, if this has helped you, has increased you, caused you to look at life a little different, let us know in the chat room. We are our own relational common denominator. Learn when to work on relationship and leave it. Correct. My mic ain't working. My mic should be working. 1 2 1 2. Is my mic working? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? See the levels. Let me know in the chat room if you can hear me. So I'm looking at the levels and saying I'm on. And I'm on. And I'm on. And I'm on. I'm on. Put a number 1 in the chat room if you can hear me. Oh, I know what happened. You should be able to hear me now. There we go. You should be able to hear me. It's better. We can hear you, but it's not as strong as it was. There you go. There we go. What happened is it came out the socket. I understand. You should be able to hear me now. Good, 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 good. If this on some level if this on some level has definitely helped you, cause you to look not at the other people. We're going to talk about the other people next week. I mean, not this next week, but this week. If this has on some level really caused you to look, let me know in the chat room. Let me know in the comments. Let me know right now. Yes, LDA, yo, man, this was on it. This, man, you said some things I didn't even think about. I got to go back and this is my 2022. I might have to look at some things different. Let me know if this really has did something for you, or just like, you know what? I really needed to hear this. I thought it was going to be about everybody else. We're going to talk about everybody else this week. We're going to talk about the church. We're going to talk about your boss. We're going to talk about your mama. We're going to talk about your daddy. We're going to talk about all them other people, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever you with, sleeping with, you're not sleeping with. We're going to talk about those relationships, but we need to talk about the relationship with you. If this on some level has really caused you to get it, let me know. Perfect. Good. You good. For sure. Yes. Much needed self-examination. Yes. 2022. Let me say this. 2022 is going to be amazing for a lot of people. And it's funny for us to do the first show about toxic relationship, let it go in toxic relationship. That means that the universe, God is trying to get you to clean your slate to prepare for the new version of who you are. And if you have toxicity inside of you, in you first, your road through 2022 is going to be rough. Everybody going to have some hiccups and ups and downs, don't get me wrong. But it's going to be rough because you have not dealt with the poison that's inside of you. Just brought about some nice inner transformation. I appreciate the reminder that self-reflection and self-accountability are a great daily routine. Good, thank you. So, but this year, the reason why, I don't know, it just happened that way, where we talk about dealing with letting go of toxic relationships and dealing with you. We're going to talk about the other people this week, tomorrow especially. But this is to get you ready, geared up for what's going to happen in 2022. It's to get you ready for 2022. Everybody ain't gonna want to hear this. Everybody ain't gonna want to digest this. But this is the real game. Deal with you, and you'll deal with everybody around you. Deal with you, you deal with everyone around you. If you deal with you, you deal with everyone around you. Y'all better catch that. If you deal with you, you deal with everyone around you. If you change, stop trying to change the world instead of trying to change you first and your perception of the world. Deal with you, you change, you deal with everyone around you. It's amazing. Let me give you an example before I leave. 128. I had an individual that was just toxic towards me. toxic, toxic, toxic. Always on riding my back, this and that. I said, why am I always, what's up with this person always on me? Like, what's going on with that? It's like something ain't right. I don't like this, man. This person is always doing this. Oops, let me give me my camera. Whoop. Always doing this and doing that and toxic. And I realized what in me is connecting the toxicity that they're giving back to me. And I was mad at the individual. I wanted to get at him. So what is it in me? So the first thing I had to do, look at this, right on time. Well, the first thing I had to do, let me see, go here. The first thing I had to do was forgive myself.
What's going on?
What's going on, man? We've been going in on dealing with the toxic relationship, but we've been talking about the toxic relationship that you have with yourself. We got all week to talk about everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah, sometimes if you don't have things established with yourself, how you gonna figure out if something's wrong or right with anybody else?
Right.
If you don't trust yourself to get something done, or if you don't trust yourself to be a certain type of accomplishment level, then you don't have the confidence anybody else can get something done. So if you don't figure out your own toxic ways and resolve them first, then you can't recognize what's toxic with people around you.
You know it. And that's what we had to say. We had to deal with toxicity. So on multiple levels, your spirit can be toxic. Your mind can be toxic. Your emotion can be toxic. Your weight, your perception of life. And of course, your body could be toxic. So we needed to take the time to quarantine or self-examine so that you can detox and recognize the toxicities in you so that you can recognize the toxicities in someone else.
Yeah. How toxic are you when you relate to somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
How toxic are you when you respond to somebody? That's a major thing that we don't get right sometimes. We may be good for ourselves, but then when other people try to get something out of us, they feel like they're hearing mess. They're feeling mess.
Mm-hmm. You could be emanating or giving off the stank toxicity, and you wonder why everybody's looking at you like you had bad breath. It's not that you had bad breath, it's that you're toxic.
Yeah. You have sometimes people have a bad aura about them and they don't want to be around you because they can see that you're going to be a problem for them.
Whoa. See, now you're gonna see, I was about to close up the shop, but that right there, open it back up.
And it's what the problem is. We don't recognize it, so we keep trying to deal with other people, and it keeps the list keeps getting longer and longer and longer because we're like, oh well, I'm not dealing with my issues. I'm just going to change the other person every time. But that other person recognize the issue and get rid of you, and you won't face the facts here. You won't face the music that the reason why this keeps happening is because you keep being the problem.
I thought it was me. It was you.
That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate deflection is when you take somebody out of your life because of your problem with them, but it's really they had a problem with you.
But
Some
no, I
people
thought it was him.
people don't want to take responsibility for that. Oh, they don't know what they don't understand me. They don't know what they're doing. Like no, it's you. It's you. Because if it happened more than once, then it's got to be you.
It's you.
If it happens more than once, it's got to be you.
And that's where we don't do the time. We don't take the time to self-reflect or to detox or to quarantine. And I'm using, catch words, and I know it's going to get the algorithm. You don't take time to quarantine.
Yeah. You don't take time to self reflect. If
Mhm.
you don't self reflect, how you supposed to understand what's going on from your perspective back out to anywhere else. You have to self-reflect. You
Mhm.
have to go within.
That is a principle that the thinking class, if you don't know it, you know it now. You must go within or do without. It's that simple. It's easy. We're going to talk about the church. We're going to talk about other people, the mama, sister, brother, cousin, all that. We're going to talk about that this week. But if we don't deal with you, the individual, the common denominator, when all these things show up, you're going to miss the rest of this week and what we're talking about. You miss
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Because what it is all these other toxic things have a toxic element, and the toxic element that you will fail to realize is you. Like the toxicity in you aligned itself with the toxicity in all those things in your life. You see,
Y'all should know I just said that. I just said that.
you can't have something toxic come in your direction and try to affect you if you didn't have something it recognizes. Remember, subconscious recognize subconscious. Well,
That's
guess
right.
what? The toxic side of you allows the toxic thing that's coming in your vicinity, and it tries to gravitate toward it. It thinks it's familiar. So why does the toxic side of you have so much power?
Uh-oh. No, it's them, Jono. They're always doing stuff.
They did it to me. Like, they want to have their little affirmation, their little speech ready for you. Oh, well, my life is all affected because of this, that. This person did this to me. This person did that to me, and this is what built the person I am today. Like, wait a minute. So you're a sum total of all the tragedy in your life? No, I don't think that's true. I think we're a sum total of all the events, and if we don't take a responsibility for the part we had in those events, you'll say it was always somebody else, and it's a big problem.
It's a big problem. Big problem. They doing this. But you always there. You are the toxic person.
You wasn't a spectator that day. You wasn't you wasn't um a person up in the nosebleeds. The day the toxic thing happened to you, you were on the field. You you were playing the game. You were actually calling the shots.
Oh. Did you think they're ready for that? Well, we already ready. We did that before. So let's just go there, Jono, about that, about you were calling the shots. Explain it to him.
Yeah. How can somebody affect you unless you give them permission? There's nobody that can affect you unless you give them the permission to do that. A person could be walking down the street and say, "Yo, bro, your shoes untied." You gave them permission to accept the statement for you to start doing something about it. You see, you could ignore them and say, "Listen, I don't believe you. I think you're trying to distract me, and maybe you want to rob me. Maybe you want to, come into my vicinity to get my attention." But you could also ignore it.
Right.
You could ignore the statement altogether and wait till you trip over your own shoelaces if they're telling the truth, right?
That's right.
So it's one or the other. You got to decide if you're going to give this person permission to come into your vicinity, and only then will they continue. There's always a knock at the door, but if you don't answer it, then they can't come in, right?
That's right. That's how it works.
There has to be a knock at the door.
So this is the thing. You play all the positions of it. You are the person who stops you. You are the person whose shoes may be untied or tied. You are the decision maker in all of the event that took place.
You actually put yourself on that street at that time. If you don't take responsibility for your part in it, how are you supposed to get the results you're looking for, even if you evaluating your way out of it? You can't evaluate your way out of the situation to redo what your thinking process is if you don't understand where your position and your part of the situation was. We have a big problem with that in society.
Oh
It's
yes,
it's outer blame, and the outer blame doesn't give you any work to do.
it's
Right?
them.
If I told you all the fault was outside of me, then I don't have no work to do. Right?
Right.
It's easier to handle when I don't have nothing to do. Well, it's all them. I'll wait till I hear back from them. Like
And you give your power away.
when you take no responsibility and you have no work to do, then you have no power either.
Yes, I will open up a panel. You know what? We I'm gonna, how much time we got? I'm gonna do something just for you. You come up right quick and give me 5 minutes, beautiful animated, because I know who you are. Did it go through? I'm doing something different. Ah, shoot. Come on, baby. Don't do that. Yeah. Yeah. So you take you, yeah. Ah, boy. My chat is, I don't want to start a chat with nobody. Let me do it this way. I love technology. Like the flow is much better. I love it this way. Yeah, Friday. I'm gonna give you because I know who you are, beautiful. But normally we do it on Fridays when you have the opportunity to come up. You got 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, beautiful animated to come up because I'm on the time schedule. Blaming others giving up your leadership. You see the link in the chat room. Oh, I see what it's trying to do. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. We get to realize that you are the creator of this whole scenario. There she is. Good. That's what I'm talking about. Boom. Add to the stream. What's up, beautiful animator? What's going on?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you?
Good. This is John
How's it
O'Jones,
going?
beautiful animated.
How's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, yourself.
Pretty good. No, like I said, I was it's hereditary, you know what I'm saying, with the short temper thing in the family. And
Mm-hmm.
so, um my first blackout was I was in elementary school, me and my friends playing in the backyard. Uh One of my friends bucked up to me and I blacked out and started choking them.
Mm.
And so, um even at that time, so after that happened, because I felt like my friends broke us up, and I even followed him all the way into his house.
Mm. You trying to
There
hurt
was like it was like blacking out is like a silent movie.
somebody?
You have your target. You're like Terminator. You have your target. Your sights on your target. There's no sound. You can't hear people talking to you and whatever. You just see movement and motions, but you're locked on target. So because of that, I had to um, stay out of fights as much as possible. Like stay away from toxic people as much as possible. And then I had another incident in high school. Me and boyfriend and friends went to the zoo. Some old white lady kicks, you know, drops and kicks her cup, and the liquid splashed onto me. Blacked out, popped up, was heading toward her. And my boyfriend's brother had to grab me. But, each situation
Mm-hmm.
I had to be early in my years, I had to learn how to self-evaluate and reflect and replay these scenes. Um, but it was in my young adult, like early 20s
Mm-hmm.
when something happened and I thought back onto the old lady. Like maybe I overreacted because maybe she was just frustrated that her drink dropped. It wasn't an attack on me or something, or disrespect towards me. It was just a reaction to her dropping her cup,
Right.
and it's like, wow.
So
And
I think
like
what
you're
happens.
saying, as far
I think
as
what happens
relation.
sometimes we all get confused. We all get confused about all everybody's role sometimes, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Sometimes all the information they see is not all the information you see, and all of a sudden it's really about miscommunication that causes conflict most of the time.
Yes. Yes. Um. In my family, we say "I love you." We give our hugs and kisses and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And my last relationship, um, I broke up with him because
Uh-oh.
he couldn't say "I love you" or anything.
Stop. I'm about to
What?
get you now.
No. Wait.
You broke up with him.
I He had issues from his childhood, but I could not deal with not even hearing that, even knowing that what it stemmed from, I still couldn't deal with it. So that's still on me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my part in it. I'm not putting all the blame on him. I know his situation. You know what I'm saying? Well,
And
knew his situation. Unfortunately, he
and
passed
why
away.
did you pull him into your life?
We started off. We worked together, so we started off as friends. So I didn't know prior to the relationship about his issues. He opened up to me during our relationship.
And why did you stay?
There was a lot. There was a lot to it. Like, okay, so his toxic childhood, and then he was always worried about people at work finding out that we were in a relationship, and it's like I told him that it doesn't matter if they find out. Like, I'm not gonna be like blabbing it or nothing, but people pick up on things,
Mm-hmm.
and it was when we broke up that people were like, "Yeah, we knew." I was like, "Yeah, I probably guessed that," and it was him. He was the one who was acting different to them, and so they figured that we were together. It wasn't from me,
So look,
but
so look at this.
Mhm,
Sometimes women, and I'm talking in general because I know
mhm.
people are gonna come back and try to inbox me and DM me. Sometimes women can see a man that's toxic and think they can fix his toxicity and not knowing that they have attracted that and that they are enabling that person to be toxic because they are nurturing by nature.
I was straight up with him about what I wanted in a relationship and stuff like that. And so I gave him his chance, and then I broke it off.
But why did you stay so long?
I didn't stay that long. Like 6 months going on to a year. We, I
That's a
mean, we,
long
we didn't
time.
make a full year.
That's a long time.
Um, like yeah, I guess it is.
That's a lot. That's too much time to be wasting on somebody who's a toxic. Like I remember you remember that movie John, a Toxic Avenger.
Hmm.
It's too long to be with somebody that was in a toxic relationship. That's too long. So that's what I'm saying. When we take him and realize he was just a player in your universe,
hmm
why would you want to play with somebody that's toxic? And why did you attract that to you? So I'm gonna point the finger always back to you.
Um, I thought at some point he not. It's not that I thought I could change him. I just thought that um he would get over it at some level that would be workable. That would show me that he was making progress or whatever. And yeah, I didn't see any progress, so I broke up. Um,
So when you seen that, where in you did you see that he was really you on some level?
Nah, I didn't see that.
Right.
I
See,
didn't see that. Mm, mm-mm.
yeah. Right. Because we only attract who we are on some level.
Yeah. Okay. And also another thing, like I said, short temper. So I've gotten to a place where it's like I'm in a situation and I see where it's going, where it's leading to. It's leading to a toxic situation, and I leave.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I was dealing with car insurance issue. They had messed up my car insurance and stuff, and I went to the place, and the lady helping me, she's like going through it, and she can't fix it. So I'm about to leave, and another woman in the office says, "Oh, let me look into it and stuff like that." And uh, all of a sudden, I could feel the energy becoming toxic from her,
Mm-hmm.
and she was saying stuff that was just it was starting to aggravate me.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'm skipping something. In
Mm-hmm.
my early 20s, I had another blackout. This was with a family member. Um, and that completely broke um my sense of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, what normal people would feel, aggravation, annoyance, and stuff like that, something low level. Um, that range before you get angry and stuff like that. I
Correct.
lost that. So annoyance, aggravation, and all that stuff would register in my body as rage. So I would literally have to take time to think and remember from my younger years before it was broken. What would I feel in this situation?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because rage is too much. It's not right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you should have been in jail.
No,
Just be
I never laid hands on them.
Yeah,
Um,
but you have the potentiality if you did do that. If you do not,
right,
the thing is
right.
this: if you don't deal with it head on and say like you just about to say, you don't retrospect and say introspect. I'm sorry, and look and say, okay, I know this is something that's I've seen around my family. Now I'm picking up and doing the same thing. If I don't deal with this, you're going to become instead of you wearing stilettos, you're going to turn into the Incredible Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Right. We don't
That's
want that.
that's one of my future cosplays. So She-Hulk.
Yeah. See, we don't want you to, we don't want you to turn into She-Hulk. We want you to be what? The lady with, I know, and I see online with the lipstick,
Right.
makeup, fire, and who has embraced her femininity so well that it emanates off your pictures. See, I looked at your pictures. I know who you are.
Yeah, thank you.
So So you got to think about that. You have to really say, you know what? I don't want to turn into She-Hulk. Why do I have that? What underneath that,
Yeah.
underneath that rage is fear. A fear of what? Fear
Fear
of
of blacking out. Hey, yeah.
no blacking out. Deeper than that, deeper than just blacking out. It's a fear of loss of control.
Yes. And that's what blacking out is
You, so
losing
you
control.
you got a name for it, and that's what you really need to be concerned about. You got a name for something that puts you out of power, and you should be using that opportunity to literally assess and evaluate what happened, as opposed to saying, well, that wasn't me, that was the version of me that don't have no control. That should never happen no more, especially since you know it already happened.
Well, actually, I do. I take meds.
I understand. I
That's
mean,
that's
everybody controls it on whatever level they can, but
well,
it's
no,
also
I
it's
say
also my
that
responsibility,
because
right?
I speak on my story because if I it's not cool for me, like to me, to be stuck on meds to control how quickly I react. You know,
Mm,
so I don't get, so I have time to think things through instead of snatching somebody up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't do that.
And I speak on it because it, I know there's other people like me. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, it
saying?
is.
And
mm-hmm.
so I want to get to them before they even have to be medicated. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like go to therapy.
Mm.
Talk things out, and it's cool. It's cool to talk things out with your friends and stuff like that. But you need therapy also. And it's like if I had gotten therapy earlier on and gotten proper guidance, um, because none of the adults in the family seat and got therapy for their short tempers. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So are you when you grow up hearing stories about them losing it, but you don't hear no stories about them doing anything to fix it?
That's a
You
problem.
know,
All
right,
right.
right, right. So I had to break that chain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, um. So yeah, with the insurance office and stuff like that, I felt where I was going, and I was just like, I'm getting annoyed. I'm leaving. Like I'm leaving because you're aggravating me, and I'm done. Like bye. And I walked out. Um, even though the woman tried to get me to stay, she reworded things and then she went back to the same stuff that was annoying me. So it's just like, yeah, I'm out. Like when people say I'm aggravated, I gotta leave, let them leave. Don't try to hold them back and stuff. You let people walk away when they need to walk away.
Yes, you. That's very true. Because I know. I remember an incident when I was younger, and I'm gonna cut this short. I almost
Mhm.
had my father had to grab me because I had the knife in my hand. I was about to turn to Jason on some people,
Mm. Mhm.
and so
Mhm.
you have to. That's what dealing with. Like I was talking earlier about dealing with the toxicity mindset or emotions or even spiritual that's inside of you and getting a grip onto it. If you do not, it will take hold of you, or you're gonna be playing this song right here. You know this song?
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
It's the Incredible Hawk song. You gotta turn
Oh
it to
my.
the Incredible Hawk.
It's it's been a minute. I haven't watched the Criminal Hulk in so dang long. The original and the new one. I haven't seen the movies for a while, man.
You gotta turn it to the Incredible Hawk. We don't want you to do that. Beautiful
Yeah.
animated and turn it to She-Hawk. Then we playing this song. Well, you know what? She was a good woman. Hey, can you put some money on her books?
Which is
John, we got to put
yeah.
money on her books.
Yeah, so yeah, I talk about these. I like when we can speak on these situations, like I said, because I definitely try to help people with my own story.
Right.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming up.
thank you for having me.
You know what? Well, let me read what it says. When we are all abnormal in our own ways, we have to self-medicate. It doesn't make you weird, it makes you human. You have to control your monster within. There are very varying degrees. Yeah, so definitely I appreciate you coming up because you know what? To hear it from you, and
Yeah,
especially to hear it from a woman, it needs to be said. So I can say
yeah.
all these things, Jonica, we can say all these things, but to hear someone actually expressing them is completely different.
That's
Yeah,
why, and you know
we need to
what?
see examples. You're right. Like, you need to have these examples.
My situation is why I do not appreciate people flossing like they have anger issues and stuff like that. When they instigate fights, these are people who instigate fights and you don't want to mess with me and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you have no idea the suffering that people who really have issues with this go through. Like seriously, my fear. You know how people have their fear of death, like how they die and stuff like that.
Mhm.
My fear is rage.
Yeah.
My rage will kill me.
And guess what? So what we're going to do right here, we're going to redirect that. So because when you realize fear is what false evidence appearing real, and I'm glad you were honest about what you feared. Now
Yeah.
we need to change that and says, I already have control of my fear of losing my rage. See the rewording of that?
Repeat it again. I need to hear that again.
I now, at this present time, have complete control of my fear of losing my rage.
Yes.
In essence,
Yes.
I control it. It does not control me.
Yes.
So I no longer fear it. I can walk side by side with it and say, you know, it's okay. I know I may feel a little twinge over here on my left arm or my right arm, but I don't have to be controlled by it.
Right.
So now
Facts.
it empowers you now.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
But that comes from being open minded and looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself about yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm telling you ain't speaking to nobody but the choir. I remember when I flipped out.
Mm-hmm.
All I seen was they were beating up my little brother, and all I seen was the butcher knife in the kitchen drawer.
Yeah.
It was about to be a chainsaw massacre up on the hill where I lived at.
Trust me, I understand that, miss.
And that right there was toxic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And saying all that, I'm about to close it up. You know what? Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you saying your example. I needed to hear that for me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of other people needed to hear it because they can identify with it, because they can just look at us like, oh, okay, you guys are just talking it. But to hear it from you, and I know you're a content creator, y'all subscribe to her channel. She does have a channel. Find her on Facebook and not Facebook, but on Instagram and on YouTube. Beautiful animated.
Mm-hmm. I am searchable.
Yes, you are searchable. Thank you for coming up. John, you got anything else? I think John on them.
No, I think that's it. No, I think we covered it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Peace, everybody. And hair grease.
Peace and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Don't let the Incredible Hulk come out.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. She letting She-Hulk come out.
Right.
You got the lonely. It's called the Lonely Man's. That's the theme song for the Incredible Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know that? Can't tell you. But let's go. We out of here. Peace and hair grease 2022. Let's get it. We out of here.
Yep.